This is the last time. Whatever happens right here happens. This is it. What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining us on Super Retro, a nostalgic podcast about retro gaming, films, and pop culture from the 80s and 90s. I'm your host, Dustin Tucker, a.k.a. Tuck.
And I'm your host, Will Walk. Let's begin the adventure.
Yes, sir. Brand new podcast. Thank you for joining us, guys. This has been a long time coming, man. It's been in the works for a hot minute. Super Retro's the name. Super Retro Pod at Gmail if you want to say anything to us. Super Retro Pod at Gmail.
Got it.
Real quick, we're going to just talk about, spend a couple minutes talking about how the podcast came together. First of all, we both grew up with Nintendos.
Yep.
The NES is special to us. You know, sure, there was that gap. Sure, there was the gap. Mm-hmm. You know, when you just didn't really think about it, it was just part of your childhood.
Yeah.
You know?
It's something you always remember.
Yeah, you just don't forget it. And then
good memories.
Great memories. Like when you look back on it, it's just fond, nostalgic memories. And you know, it's no secret we had another podcast. It was called Speaking Easy. This is our new venture. This is our new podcast. Like we both love nostalgia. We both love retro gaming. We both love the 80s. We both love the 90s.
Yep. Super focused now.
Yeah, but super dialed in. Well, as dialed in as we can be.
Yeah, that's not saying much.
Yeah, for real. But a lot more than just rambling about current events. Like we're picking topics, we're sticking to them, we're reliving them. We are. And that's. I mean, we're doing it without even realizing that that's what the podcast is actually going to be about.
Yeah, exactly.
Like we wrote down all these topics we could do, all these cool nostalgic topics, but in order to prepare for the podcast, you got to dive head in.
You got to live it.
You got to redo it.
Yeah, but it's cool because we've already lived it. It's something we already know we like.
That's what the podcast is going to be. It's going to be us reliving things from the 80s and from the 90s and discovering them and finding out things we didn't know before.
Yep.
So I'm really looking forward to this podcast. And
it's fun.
Yeah,
it's already
It
fun.
is fun. Like I'm not saying I didn't look forward to other pod. Okay, I'm not. But I really look forward to these.
Yeah.
You know, because it's just you get to talk about something that makes you happy.
And the homework is a lot more fun.
It's way more fun. It doesn't feel like any work at all.
No, like we've been in a pretty cool little run here of doing a lot of retro stuff. Like I'm even looking up older movies and watching them.
Yeah.
Like on Amazon, because they're all on there.
Yeah. So, you know, next episode, we'll probably do a movie. Right after that, we might talk about
Garbage Pail Kids.
Garbage Pail Kids. Yeah. We're going to dial in. We're going to talk about who created them, when they were created, why they were created. We, hope you guys join us for that. But with that being said, man, let's get right into this, into our first episode. All right. Can you grab that, Will? I'd grab it by my hand. Look at this. There you go. Look at this, guys. Speaks for itself. The Legend of Zelda. All right, we're covering the Legend of Zelda.
The gold case.
The gold joint, not the gray joint like I had and thought was the original. The gold joint.
Both the same game.
But they're the same game. They're the same game. Gray was re-released in 1991, and I tried to tell Will that I had the original. That the gray was the original. The gray joint's the original. He was like, "Nah, son, nah."
I remember getting it.
You wrong.
As it came out.
You wrong. It's gold.
That right off the bat, immediately, when I was a kid, and it was the different color than any game I had, and it was gold. Like, I immediately liked it, before I even put it in.
I mean, it's just special. I mean, it's shining. As a kid, you don't know, is it worth money? Like,
is it real?
Is it real? Why is it gold and all the other ones are gray? And with the exception of some that were black sometimes.
Yeah. Like, what a great marketing.
Fantastic. I mean, they had the shit figured out.
Yeah, you just got a treasure cart.
And not only that, I mean, look at this case. What does this say? The other ones say 1985 on the back of them. I mean, it's 2023. And this thing, unbreakable, dude. This thing will be around 100 years from now.
I know.
This is going to outlive us. This cartridge right here in my hand is going to outlive all of us.
Yeah, 100%.
How sad is that?
My kid's kid could be playing that.
Yeah. And
I'm gone.
Them chips in there, they're resilient too, man. Like, you clean them up a little bit. You hit them with the, what's that eraser I got back there? I can't remember the name of it right now. You know, I have a bunch of tools. You can clean them, man. These things are going to last.
Yeah,
right
it's a good technology when that happens.
let's get right into it. What I'm going to do is you'll notice a pattern on the podcast. I'm going to play the theme music. We're going to play the theme music, then we're going to go right into some hard facts. We're going to talk about the game, man. Here we go.
Because a lot of these 80s and 90s, the theme music and soundtracks and everything like that was really important back then.
We're going to talk about the music here in a minute. Here we go. There we go. Immediately, you're already like...
Yeah. I'm ready to go on an adventure.
What's about to happen? We're just going to let it ride.
I mean, that's solid, dude.
Dude.
If you ain't ready to go on an adventure right now.
I'm ready to go. Right now. Let's go. Music was composed by the iconic Koji Kondo. I mean, look the guy up, y'all.
What a cool name.
Koji
like,
Kondo.
That's
K-O-N-D-O.
exactly who I thought should have done that.
Right. And the man wasn't even that. He just wanted to work at Nintendo. That's all he really wanted to do. So he figured out a way. He got his foot in the door. Next thing you know, he's releasing iconic music. What? Oh,
yeah, that's what he did. Watch this.
Yeah. He's like, watch this. I'm gonna use this as backing music for our history. Man, Koji Kondo, dude. Like he did Mario. He did the Mario theme.
He set the tone for you to immediately be immersed in that world. You know what I mean?
The man created the soundtrack to our childhood.
Yeah. As soon as you hit start,
there's no doubt.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know it.
Like
one guy.
When I hear 8-bit music, it does something to me.
Yeah.
I like it better than actual music.
Yeah, well, and you remember it.
Yeah.
Like it sticks with you.
That's why, I've been trying to make all this, when I make these beats, I'm like trying to make 8-bit stuff.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Like it does something to me. But anyways, let's get right into it, y'all. Here we go. The Legend of Zelda. Originally released in Japan as the Hyrule Fantasy Zelda. I can't pronounce this word. No Denetsu. Yeah, the Hyrule Fantasy Zelda no Denetsu.
Yeah.
Yeah, close enough. And it...
I never even heard of it.
Yeah, it's a 1986 action-adventure game developed and published by Nintendo. The first game of the Legend of Zelda series is set in the fantasy land of Hyrule and centers on an elf-like boy named Link, who aims to collect the 8 fragments of the Triforce of Wisdom in order to rescue Princess Zelda from... Let me get my music going. From the antagonist Ganon. During the course of the game, the player controls Link from a top-down perspective and navigates throughout the overworld and dungeons, collecting weapons, defeating enemies, and uncovering secrets along the way. It was finally released in America after much anticipation on August 22nd, 1987. I remember when it was released.
Yeah.
You remember?
What?
Do you remember when it was released?
I don't remember like
the marketing or anything?
Not really.
No? Okay.
I just remember having it.
Right. And this is cool too. The inspiration for it, The Legend of Zelda was principally inspired by creator Shigeru Miyamoto's explorations as a young boy in the hillsides, forests, and caves surrounding his childhood home in Sonobe, Japan, where he ventured into forests with secluded lakes, caves, and rural villages. According to Miyamoto, one of his most memorable experiences was the discovery of a cave entrance in the middle of the woods. After some hesitation, he apprehensively entered the cave and explored its depths with the aid of a lantern. Mm-hmm. That's great. Miyamoto has referred to the creation of the Zelda games as an attempt to bring to life a miniature garden for players to play with each game in the series. One more time, the objective. The objective of the game is to collect 8 fragments of the Triforce of Wisdom by navigating through 8 separate dungeons and defeating the bosses in order to rescue the princess from the antagonist Ganon. And if you do it once...
Oh, yeah. They'll let you do it a second time.
If you do it once all the way through, You have to do it again, and only this time it's completely different.
Yeah, they switch it up on you.
They do, man.
Oh, you know how to beat it? Here you go.
You did good.
How many months did it take to do this? Here, we're going to switch it up now.
So that's the objective, and it was created by Shigeru Miyamoto. A little history on him, dude. He did Excitebike. He did all
Classic.
of he did Kung Fu.
Classic.
He did the Marios.
Classic.
Mario 1, 2, 3. Actually, he didn't do 2. He didn't do 2.
Switched it up.
He did 1 and 3.
You can tell. 2 is a unique game.
It is a unique game, and we'll definitely
It'll have its own episode.
It'll have its own episode. You know what? I love Mario too. So
too.
anybody got something to say about it?
I mean, we're both huge fans
I'm not
of
listening
Mario
to
2.
it. I'm not listening to it. Email us. You got something to say about email
Yes,
us?
tell us what you don't like.
SuperRetroPod@gmail at me. No, I'm just kidding. I love Zelda too, man. How much freaking fun have we had playing this game?
A lot, man. A lot of hours. Back then, they didn't log hours of gameplay. Back then, I bet there was no game that had more gameplay than Zelda.
I wonder how many hours I spent as a child playing this game. There's no telling, because what was really weird when I would walk through there, and I looked online for a few things, like some walkthroughs and shit, and I would Google where a boss was, or I'd look to see his location on the map, and then I would try to figure out how to get there. Yep. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have a walkthrough. But, at first when I started walking around, I'm like, oh shit, I don't remember this. I don't remember this part. I don't remember this part. And then all of a sudden, I found the fairy, the life fairy.
And you're like, I knew this was here.
Where she gives you all of the life.
Yeah, that's solid. You have to have that.
Core memory unlocked.
I found another one after that, and I was like, oh, there's more. I forgot.
You found another one?
Yeah, there's more fairies.
Where was that?
It's up in the mountains.
What a dope game. Up in the mountains. In the mountains, and I know where he's talking about.
Yeah. It really, I'm telling you, people don't understand back then how hard it was to beat or learn anything.
I know.
You didn't get clues. There wasn't the internet. You could only learn from people you knew, and in the magazines if you got them. If you're lucky enough to look at a Nintendo Power.
Yeah.
Back then, that was the only way you would ever.
I wonder now if our brains have developed, or with the invention of the internet, we have gotten so far away from the mind state that it took to play that game.
That's what I'm saying.
When you were a kid.
Yeah.
Because when I think about it, when I think about a lot of games like that, I think about the time and dedication I put in to playing these games, which I know now there's games people will play for years.
Yeah.
These, I don't know, what's one of the shooting games?
Oh, Call of Duty.
Call of Duty.
They play those for forever.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Every new one they get.
The mind frame you had to have to play this game is so different than anything that I see in my own kids, or that,
No.
or myself even anymore.
It's a focus.
It's a real focus that you have to have on one particular thing for an extended period of time. And now everything is so...
And there's so much now.
Instant gratification.
Imagine how many different things a kid can do now that we couldn't do then.
Yeah, I know.
You know what I mean? When I was the reason I loved Nintendo so much was it was the first time I had my own technology that I could go do whatever.
It was yours.
It was, and I didn't have to ask, or I could sometimes ask if I could go play it.
Yeah.
And most times it's back then, because it was just what a great babysitter.
Yeah, no shit.
I'm gonna go play Zelda in my room quietly for 6 hours.
That's funny you say that. I've never looked at it like that. It really was because now kids and people in general have just all these electronics to them all day long. Dude, today I was working and I had a laptop up. I had my iPad next to it, and I had 2 cell phones because I have a work phone, because I wanted to keep business. I don't want to mix business with pleasure. You know what I'm saying?
You're like, what am I doing?
Yeah. So I did. I sat back and was like, and I'm eating at lunch.
Yeah.
I always knock out some emails at lunch.
How much do I need?
I'm like, what the fuck? What is happening?
And
right
back then, there wasn't.
You didn't have any of that.
Nope.
You didn't have any.
Like that game, man. When you started it just put you out into an adventure. Good luck.
Man, you really kind of channeled into it, man.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, back then, there was shit that you could not know. Someone had to tell you.
I know.
Or you figured it out randomly.
And with burning the bushes.
Oh my gosh.
Or putting the bombs.
Who?
How would you know?
How many people wasted their lives?
That's what I'm saying.
Burning bushes and bombing every rock.
You literally would drop a bomb. It wouldn't work. You do it again, it wouldn't work. You'd run out of bombs. Well, you'd go into all the little surrounding areas and kill a bunch of guys to get bombs and go in there and do it some more.
Yep.
Like, that was real dedication. Like, that alone probably took 45 minutes just to find, or no.
No, days. Bro, I'm telling you. Back then, it was days.
Yeah, days. Or the burning where you burn the bush.
Yeah, you have to.
And you could only throw the flame one time.
Yeah, if you had the regular candle, you could only one flame at a time, and then go out of screen
and come back
and
in,
then load that screen back again.
So that alone right there would take 15 minutes just to burn every bush in that room, if not longer.
Yeah, and then you'd have to like have a plan. I got to go everywhere. Every place there's a bush. Every place there's a rock.
Dude, I find myself doing it. If I'm not instantly like gratified, I'm not talking about now. I have like a shut off in my brain. I shut off when I'm playing these games, and I go right back to where I was at. I can take as much time as I need.
Yep, it's cool now.
But
it's cool playing games now. The games that you played when you were a kid now as an older person.
But now, I'm on the other technology. I'm always moving on to the next, doing this, doing that. But yeah, it's huge, man. Like it like unlocks something, you know?
Yeah.
Oh,
it really did, especially back then. It was like super good for your brain, I think.
I think so. It was like a brain exercise.
Like people don't thinking you're rotting your brain, and you're over there doing like puzzles and teaching yourself shit and learning and, you know what I mean, figuring the game out, beating the board, which boss does what, you know what I mean? Like you're learning it even as a kid, because I mean I got it when I was 1987, you know. Which,
by the way, we have footage of Will, and he hasn't even seen it yet.
I'm like 8.
Will brought over a bunch of VHS tapes, and I'm converting them for him. And I want to tell a story. So I come down. They're long too, so I'm just like converting them in the basement. And I'll walk upstairs and come back down 20 minutes later, see if it's still going. And when I came down, it was on his Christmas, but the timestamp was 1987. And I thought I remember Will telling me he got his first Nintendo around then. So I texted him. I said, hey man, I said, when did you get your Nintendo? And he said 1987. I said, dude, I'm about to watch you open it.
I was like, and
he had no idea any of that was even on the video.
I had forgotten what's even on those tapes. Like I haven't seen them in so long. I didn't even know there was a Christmas.
It was his whole Christmas. And what's weird is I had walked upstairs to send him that text message, and then I was like, as soon as he sent it to me, I looked at my wife Katie. I said, holy shit. I was like, Will's about to open up a Nintendo on the TV down there, and I'm filming it. So I walked down the steps, and his mom on the video was handing him like a small box. He opened that real quick, and it was like a shirt or something. And then I saw her grab this box. And if you're a Nintendo collector, or if you're just halfway into Nintendo, you know what the box looks like. I knew it immediately. Yeah. Like, soon as they handed it to him, I knew that is a Nintendo in that box. And sure enough, he opened it right there. He freaked out. He was like, oh my God, yeah.
It's a Nintendo.
It's a Nintendo. No, you said you called it a Nintendo.
Yeah, I'm sure I did.
You said, Nintendo. and then you were like, then you honestly, man, you kind of threw it aside.
Yeah, I mean, I probably couldn't play it right now.
Yeah, you were like, that's cool. Yeah,
I don't know how.
Hell yeah. You just verified you got it.
I locked it up.
Yeah. You knew shit was about to go down a little bit.
Mission accomplished.
And then he opened up Donkey Kong 3.
Is that what it was next?
Yeah, it was no, I'm sorry. Donkey Kong Jr.
Yeah, Junior.
Yeah. And you opened that up next.
It came with Mario.
You were like,
I'm pretty sure.
You thought it was a movie.
Did I
And then you're like, it's you said it's King Kong. You said it's King Kong.
That's exactly what it is back then.
And then you read it, or your mom read it or something, and you was like, Donkey Kong Jr. And you were like, oh, it's a game.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool, man. So we'll definitely.
How crazy is that? That the whole thing.
I'm gonna show it. I'm gonna show it on the video.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it.
How funny is it that we've been all?
I'm gonna put it right here somewhere.
Talking about how cool games are and all that experience of, and we all play Nintendo now.
Yeah.
Nintendo.
Yeah, Nintendo. Yeah, that's right. All right, man. Let's get into some gameplay stuff on this. The opening screen, y'all. I challenge you right now to find a better opening screen. There's only one that I can think of that is equally my favorite, but it's for a significantly different reason. I love the open of Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
The knife going into the mask. Mm-hmm. Just iconic visuals.
It's classic.
However, it's not this. It's not. It's probably, it'll show up behind us somewhere. It's not that. You got the waterfall. Mm-hmm. You got the mountains. You got Link. You got the Triforce hidden behind the epic font. I wish it was back there. Here, can you? Oh, I can. Here we go. Here we go. Hit and reset right there. Look at that. Look at that.
That's an invitation.
Look, that's a sword across the bottom. That is just. Come on, man. Oh, here it is up on the TV.
I mean, the changing of the colors.
Oh man, it. Come on, dude.
Then it showed. Then after that, you set it long enough, and it'll show you every piece of every item on the game.
That's right. That's right.
So there's stuff on there that I remember looking at. It's the only way I knew it was on the game because I hadn't got it. You know what I mean?
That's how it's genius. And those, like you're saying, this when it's scrolling, they had a thought that they needed to do that. Think how many people out there that had everything except this one little piece.
Yeah.
That they show you.
Yeah.
And it probably drove people nuts. They were probably
people are like, "Where's that blue ring?"
Yeah, where the hell is it? And the music, we kind of talked about the music, but the music is next level.
Not only the music, just the sounds. The sounds the music changes up when you're in dungeons, like and that opening music's different than when you start the game, and then like just every little sound, the sword you shoot at people,
your shield,
your shield blocking, everything, the people shooting at you, the bosses. Like last time, remember we talked about how you talked about the breathing of the bosses.
Oh yeah, you can hear the boss in the dungeon from the next room. You know he's next.
Yeah.
You know he's coming up next because you can hear him. Especially those dinosaurs, or like the fire breathing, double, triple headed dragons. You can hear them, and it just.
Oh yeah, it immediately gets you more anxiety than it already does being in a dungeon.
Yeah, and you're right. When you go into the dungeon, that music changes. You're just like. Okay. Yeah. All right. Shit just got real.
Yeah. Remember I told you when we started playing it again, I was like, I'm about to hit mute. This shit is not how you gets you.
Yeah. It almost be cheating though. You gotta have the.
No, I didn't.
You know what I'm gonna do down here in the cave? I'm gonna get surround sound.
I was scared the shit out of the kids.
I'm gonna get surround sound. Like I was looking at some shit today. I was at the Goodwill and there was like a whole set. I'm like,
that would work.
But I need a receiver. I want that shit. I want you to feel it in your chest.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that'll get you.
Oh, the boomerang.
Yeah, super. It's an unbelievable item.
The boomerang.
It changes the game.
Arguably, is the most important item in the game.
Yeah, yeah.
As far as a weapon,
it unlocks an ability that you super need. Being able to stun things, being able to collect.
It's probably the most reliable.
Yeah.
You know. You don't lose it.
I'd say that, like, out of the items in that second slot, it's probably the most frequented.
It's
by the end of the game. You don't use it as much in the end because you need other stuff, but it's solid. Like, especially when you get the second one.
Mm-hmm. Will's referencing the end of the game. I know nothing about it because we both have dove head first, and I only made it to the 5th level after quite a bit of trying. I got stuck in the 5th level. I needed bombs. And
that's when stuff gets hard.
It was hard. I got stuck. I got frustrated. I quit. I came back to it the next day, tried again, made it all the way to the boss. I died. Went a whole nother run, got back to him, died again.
You get that potion though, right?
Yeah, the life potion. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was able to get that. And Will beat the game, so
yeah, it was pretty
he's
hard.
Speaking from mad experience. He just recently beat the game. What, a week ago?
Yeah, it's about a week and a half.
So
super fun.
That's pretty cool.
It was like just remembering it, doing it when I was a kid, and now I'm so much like I'm better, than I was then because I was 8 years old.
Like you can just handle it.
Yeah.
You just your mind. Yeah.
Like, oh, I remember this. I still have the muscle memory on some of the moves.
I do too. That's what I was saying when I saw like the ferry or when I saw the little dock for the raft.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And what's crazy, and also when you go in dungeons, you'll remember what to do on certain enemies. From being a kid.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I have to hit these dudes in the back.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to stay away from these dudes.
That's so funny you said that. As soon as I saw the knights, or what do you call them, dark nuts?
Yeah, dark nuts.
As soon as I saw them, I immediately knew, you can't hit these dudes straight. Yeah. You cannot hit them in the front.
And when you see the little Hershey kiss, you're like, oh, they break in too if you don't hit them.
And the thing about them dark nuts, man, when you go in that one room and there's like...
They're one of the toughest enemies.
15 and you do not have the shooting sword.
Good luck.
It's over, dog.
You better get real good at going left down.
Yeah.
Up over.
And there's no pattern to them.
No, they'll
turn right into you.
They're super hard, man.
Yeah, they are, dude. God, they're annoying.
And you shoot your boomerang at them and it just goes ping.
Bing. Does nothing.
You're like, oh, shit.
That's one time the boomerang ain't doing shit.
Yeah.
You gotta stab them. You jab them.
There's super tough enemies in that game.
I know.
And I remember I told you my the person that gave me the worst was when it was like those circle little. They're like little fuzzballs that wander around.
They kind of go like this.
And they don't hurt you. They just take your sword ability away for like 2 seconds. And like when they sprinkle those to guys with other hard enemies, you're like in there trying to hit something and it hits you and now you don't have your sword for 2 seconds and it's coming at you. You know what I mean? Like it's a super difficult game.
It's a hard deal, man.
Like we got our kids playing it and they're like, I was like, oh, you're never going to beat this.
Yeah. Oh, dude, my kids have zero tolerance for it. They'll die twice and I'm like, this game's stupid.
No,
it's like, come on, man. It's amazing. Just like, it's all
I'll have
right,
to go get him something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Get a couple items, make it better.
Like my kids love the Nintendo games and they respect it because I like it so much and they like the art.
Yeah.
And but when the gameplay for them, just being exposed to the Switch and everything they've been exposed to, they're just like, it's all right.
Things that are too difficult and it doesn't look visually stimulating.
It's extremely difficult, and you don't realize it how difficult it is until you let a kid play it.
Yep. Because I mean, like I told you, I say this all the time. Like back then, they were making games for the gameplay. It wasn't about graphics. They couldn't pull you like that. They had to keep you there for the gameplay. How hard, how difficult, how cool, how interesting it was to get farther. That's what they did. Nintendo did a beautiful job with that.
Exactly, man. Shigeru Miyamoto. My guy knew what was up.
Yep.
But yeah, back to the kids, I was 9 or 8 when I got mine, and I watch my kids play Mario now, and I remember, obviously I wasn't like great at Mario, but dude, I was making it far as an 8-year-old.
Mm-hmm.
8, 9, I'm making it far. I let my 9-year-old play now, Mason, and he's just like, I mean, he's all right, but he doesn't want to keep playing.
That's the difference.
Yeah.
They don't want to put in the work.
Yeah, he's just like, I could probably figure it out, but
I got something else to do.
But
see, that's the difference. We didn't.
That's his era, though.
Yeah.
I got to respect his era.
Yeah, they're doing 20 things.
He'll look back on his time and feel the same way, probably. So that makes it even more special to us.
Yeah, it was a different era, man. It was all perfect technology coming at the right time for certain kids. Like, I'm sure it's the same way people feel about Atari when they started.
I want to call out the gambling wizard.
Oh, yeah.
I want to call out the gambling wizard.
That'll get you on.
You ain't right, dog. You ain't right. So I did watch I was watching this walkthrough, and he ended up in there, and I was kind of close to that spot. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go see what this is about. So what I did, not realizing that,
it's random.
It's random. Was I followed what this guy did, and this guy went like 3 times, and he won a bunch of coins. So I'm like, come on, man, he won a bunch of gems. I'm like, all right, it's my turn. Here we go. I'm gonna follow exactly what he did. I lost every single one, and then the last one for good measure. So first I lost like 10, like, then I lost like 20.
At first you're like, did I get those? No, I didn't.
Nah, it's going backwards, and I was like, what the fuck is it? So then I hit another one. Took like 70 of my coins, dude. So I lost like over 100 coins messing with this damn guy. And,
like,
and coins are hard to come by.
Yeah, I'm not gambling again.
So, dude, that's some bullshit. Fuck the gambling wizard. That's what I think. But
shout out to those secret coins scattered all around the world. That was cool. Because I had to go to the walkthrough for that. There's no way I was remembering where all those coins were.
I don't remember any of them.
No, I did though. After I was doing after they told me where they were, I remembered most of them.
You talking about where you like push something? Well,
like just where you throw a bomb and get 100 coins, or burn a bush, you get 100 coins.
Yeah, I remember some of
30, 60 or.
I don't remember that many of them though, like in the bushes or the rocks, Oh, and I'll tell you, that's another thing when you were talking about muscle memory. When those knights are standing there, like the knights that don't move, and then you walk up behind them and push them or touch their back or something,
then they start moving.
I just immediately remembered to do that. And then same with the rocks.
There's a few hidden items in those.
Oh yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
You have to do that.
Yeah, there's stairs. Yep.
That's where the blue ring is in one of them.
And I remember pushing like stones or rocks out of the way.
Yeah, immediately.
As soon as I saw him, I was like, wait a minute, I think something in this room.
Yep.
And then sure enough,
I walked by one in the beginning of the game and was like, that's where I used the power bracelet.
I love that sound when you unlock something.
Oh, unbelievable. Another one of them sounds they nailed.
And they still use it today, I believe. I know on
we need to go from this and make sure we play Breath of the Wild.
we do. I mean, I have it. We have it here.
I got it.
And Ocarina of Time. Is it Ocarina or Ocarina?
I always said Ocarina.
Ocarina, like Macarena.
That's what I said.
Ocarina.
So, I mean, and I said.
I'm sorry, y'all.
And I said Nintendo. So I mean,
whatever. Ocarina of Time. It does it on there, and I love it every time I hear it.
Yep.
It because I've been playing that. I've been playing Ocarina of Time now, just because I just recently got it, and it's actually really fun. But every time I hear that sound, it just immediately takes me back to when I was playing, Legend of Zelda just the other day.
That's how right like Zelda and Mario got it at the very beginning, is that the sounds are still the same even to this day.
I wonder where we would be in gaming right now if Mario, if Zelda, if those two weren't released like back to back like that.
Yeah, I mean it was two like classics, like unbelievably
the industry.
classic.
I wonder where the industry would be.
I mean those two games right there.
It would be here.
Set off an adventure for the next 20 to 30 years. You know what I mean? Those two games.
I know. We would be here, but it would feel different.
Yep.
Right?
I mean, look at right now, and it's 2023. There's about to be a Super Mario movie that looks
Can't wait to see
amazing,
that.
and then there's Zelda on the Switch and everything is one of the best games ever made. Like, and still, those are the games we're talking about, the franchises.
Amazing, and to each their own. I'm glad that these other franchises and these other games exist. But man, hopefully, this kind of has a resurgence. Well, not even a resurgence, because like you just said, it's still here. But I mean, like, I want almost to not to go backwards with the graphics, but just focus more on the gameplay, like you were saying.
I think that's what Breath of the Wild did.
Yeah,
'Cause
exactly.
if you watch it, it's
I haven't done it yet.
I mean, if you watch videos, you can tell it's like sort of not you could make graphics better. They just did it to make it just good enough.
And the graphics on this one, The Legend of Zelda, on the NES, I mean, the gameplay was so good, we didn't need anything else.
No, it wasn't great.
Didn't matter. I don't want anything else.
I didn't care.
I don't want to see it redone. I don't want to.
No,
that's
perfected.
It's exactly what it needed.
Yep.
And that's how I want to keep it. I don't know. It's like an ingredient for it.
Yeah. Almost all NES great games.
Let's see what else we got. How anxiety-inducing is the down to a half to one heart? Is it one heart or a half heart?
It might be one.
It's one.
Beeping.
It's one. How much anxiety does that put into your body?
That sound itself killed me more than I think my terrible gameplay.
And it doesn't shut off.
No, until you get the end. But how amazing is it when you see that heart? Oh, I can shut the sound off
from across the room. You have you
throw your boomerang. Get it.
It's the best. But yeah, man, God, that sound. It haunts you. It haunts you.
Especially being in a dungeon, knowing that when you die, you start back at the beginning of the dungeon.
God, torture.
Yeah,
torture. Make it all the way to the end. Die.
And wherever you are on the map, if you die, you go all the way back to the start screen. Mm-hmm. Like that start screen, that was a different concept too. This is where you start every time. You're going to start right here, come all the way back here if you die in the overworld.
Yeah.
If you're in a dungeon, you start back at the beginning. Good luck. Oh, good try. Like, that's heartbreaking.
It is, dude. And I'm telling you, that's why I was unable to beat it.
Yeah.
Because I kept putting in all this work, getting all the in number 5, getting all the way to the boss 2 times, and then all the way back to the beginning.
Well, hope that was fun.
God, it was brutal.
And that's honestly how you learned in this game.
I know.
You were like, okay, now I know. I got to go get bombs. I got to
come back.
I got to do just what I did, but not fuck up as much. Get a couple more hearts. Like, it was a super, super difficult game, and it still is.
You know what else is a cool detail to it? You know how when you had fire, if you touched the fire, you hurt yourself.
Oh, yeah.
The fire, because most games, whatever you have, whatever weapon you have,
you can't hurt yourself.
You can't hurt yourself. You know, or if you have like if you're playing with a buddy and he has a gun or something, he can't hurt you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, bro, this is fire. You're shooting fire out. If you touch it, it's gonna hurt you like it hurt everybody else. What a great detail. They didn't have to do that.
No.
They could have just left that alone. You could just walk right through the fire.
It was so unique with everything like that, and the enemies you face, like how all of them were different. Like everybody had a characteristics you had to learn, and that fucking fish dude that shoots fireballs at you no matter where you're at on the overworld.
He's in the water,
yeah,
shooting at you the whole time.
The whole time, and he's on point. Anywhere you are, if you stand still, he's hitting you. You better keep moving.
Dude, I'd love to be at their meetings or like their concept.
I got an idea. Make this fish dude.
Make this dude in the water.
Like Zora.
Zora.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And those, what are they called? Likes? Here, look. Remember this picture? Those guys. They look like a hamburger or something.
Oh, and they come up and they spin?
No, they just start doing like this, and if they get you, you go inside it.
Oh, yeah.
And it eats your shield. It eats your great shield.
That's right. I was talking about that picture you showed me kind of looked like.
And then I told you, like, when that happens, you got to go buy another shield for $90.
Let me see that picture.
Like, it was one of those heartbreak. This game gave you heartbreak.
It really did.
It wasn't easy. There was no nerfing. Like, it didn't give a shit about you if you beat it.
Dude, I need this. What is this? This is sick.
That'd be a cool poster.
This is a cool poster. This has got every enemy on there. What the hell are these dudes' names? Oh, the lever. You see that?
Yeah, those are cool. Those are in the sand.
Yeah, those are wicked, dude. They're like what do you call those things? Trimmers. Mm-hmm. It's like a trimmer or something. And running out of bombs, dude. Come on, man.
And like I told you, when you get farther in the game, you get the ability to carry more bombs. So you could stack a bunch with you.
You had mentioned that one of the reasons you like the game, you were telling me this, is that you get a new item every time.
Yeah, the items is what drives you. When you go to a dungeon, there's items in there for you to unlock.
And not only do you get a piece of the fragment of the Triforce, you get an item.
Yeah, so you got another thing to add to your collection and go under that sidebar.
I'll tell you what I did, I believe.
Your menu.
Which is dope. Yeah. Is that the first inventory?
Yeah, the first inventory.
Is this the first inventory? I know this is the first game you can save on. We didn't even cover that.
No.
It's literally the first game you can save on.
And you can erase shit.
But by the way, off subject, not really, but Zelda 2, did you know it has a battery in it?
Mm-mm.
I'm going to show you. Wild. If you have a Zelda 2, open it up on NES, there's literally a battery on the chip. No shit.
Yeah, it was amazing that you could actually save your progress.
Well, let's just talk about it. Is this game a masterpiece?
Oh, yeah, 100%.
You think so?
Yeah. I think the impact that it's had in its long, duration of being one of the great games, I think it's got to be a masterpiece. Like how long it's endured.
The series for sure is just iconic.
If Zelda didn't start out as an amazing masterpiece, it would never have went on to this. Like there's all kinds of Nintendo games that didn't, have the impact or the longevity.
Yeah.
That a Zelda game had. So
you would say it's a masterpiece. I would definitely say it's a masterpiece. I would say it's probably the most fun I've had playing a game since I've been an adult. Mm-hmm. Since I've been an adult, because I know I had a lot of fun playing other games when I was a kid. There's nothing quite like that Mario 3. Yeah. The first time you played that did something to you.
I mean, there was a lot of Nintendo games that did that to me.
It looked so different.
And the gameplay, man. I'm telling you, the setup, the boards. I mean, every way they did all of it. The items, and that's when they installed the inventory, I think.
Let's rate it. Let's give it a rating. On a 1 to 10, I'm gonna say gameplay is a 10. It's a 10. It's got to be a 10, and I'm not just gonna be throwing 10s around. The story, I'll give it a 9.5. The graphics to match the game, the terrain, the overworld, the dungeons. Overall, I got to give the game a 9.7. I'm going to give it a 9.7. And I think it's very worthy of that. If not, this may be one of the only real 10s out there. I'm sure we'll cover more that are 10s on the NES. So I'm going to go 9.7. And that may be the highest rating I ever give. We'll see. What about you?
I've had a lot of time to think about this, and I think I've told you last time it was lower than I'm gonna do right now.
Yeah.
Because I think I'm gonna have to put it at 10.
I'm glad you said that because you did give it a. We've had this conversation before. You gave it
9.5.
You gave it a lower. You gave it a lower.
Yeah, just because I thought, and then I started thinking about how, like we talked about earlier, the cultural influence for so long, and like I said, like if that would have flopped, there would be no 20, however many 30 games that came after, and marketing, and like the damn Link is on games now on the Switch. You know what I mean? That aren't Zelda. He's on Mario Kart. Like, you know what I mean? You can race with Link. So I'd have to go 10 with all that, with everything that it's done for video games.
9.7 for me, and I'm sure I'll regret that.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to have some type of.
No, you're right, because
stamp.
like you said, there's not many 10s out there.
I don't know if there is another 10, but it seems like the best game that I think would have to be a 10, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if this is the best game on the NES. Is it top 3? Yeah, no doubt. Is it top 2? Probably. For me, but
Yeah, me too.
But did which had more impact? I don't know. We'll see.
Yep.
It definitely had a huge impact.
Yeah, it did. It's still having one.
So cool, man. That's the podcast, y'all. We also will have a YouTube channel. When you hear this will be on YouTube. You can watch the video. So yeah, you can find us. Let me try not to butcher this. It's the first time I've ever done it. superretropod@gmail.com. Again, superretropod, P-O-D, superretropod@gmail.com.
It's easy enough.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. We want to do listener. We want to have a segment where we talk about the listeners, what they thought about the previous podcast, or any ideas they have for new ones. Or you can send us your list on the top 5, 10 games or the top 5 beat 'em up games, the top 5, adventure games, top 5, side scroll game, whatever.
Old movies.
Yeah. Or movies, yeah. I'm sorry.
80s, 90s, everything.
This is 80 and anything 80s and 90s goes, and I'm talking all the way up to 99.
Yeah.
From 1980 to 1999. If it happened between there, we're going to talk about it on this podcast.
Yeah. At some point.
I'm talking everything. Trapper Keepers.
I remember.
Remember Trapper Keepers?
I had them.
Yeah.
They were unbelievable.
Yeah. Saved by the Bell.
Watched it.
Who didn't watch Saved by the Bell?
You almost couldn't.
Who doesn't want to listen to a podcast of us breaking down Saved by the Bell? Each character, their characteristics that pissed you off,
Yeah.
and the ones you liked. That shit. Anyway, that's the podcast, y'all. You can find me on Instagram, Dustin Tucker 502. What's your handle?
We'll walk too.
We'll walk too. And I'm gonna leave you guys with a beat I made, unknowingly that this was a year ago.
Fits perfectly.
And it's like it was meant to be played right now. And even when I didn't realize that I had made that beat till I sent it to you guys.
Yeah.
And that myself and Will knew that we were going to do the Legend of Zelda for the first episode now for 3 weeks to a month almost, it feels like. We knew for a while. Well, just the other day I sent them, we have this group chat going. I sent a link to a beat that I had made, which is funny. I said link. I sent... a year ago, I made a beat with the intro to Legend of Zelda, the one we just played. So it's very fitting. I'm gonna play it for you. I hope you like it. Just check the bio or the description wherever you see this, and wherever you're listening or wherever you see it, and there should be a link in there that will point you directly where you can hear this song more if you want to. It'll either be on YouTube or Spotify or something like that. So, hope you enjoy. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Thanks for being here.
Here we go. There it is. I did it.
Money.